Good, happy Thursday morning, January 31st, 2019. The last day of January. Tomorrow will be February. January flew by. We have a lot of news to talk about. Welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, temperatures will below zero expected in Lakes region today. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Siobhan Lopez.
Strict attention to detail. That's what sets Kubota construction equipment apart. It's how we...
With a possible wind chill feel of 20 below zero in Laconia, firefighters expect to get calls for frozen pipes, but they're urging homeowners to resist trying to thaw them.
With blow torches or improvised heating devices, anything like that, because that does cause a lot of fires.
The frigid temperatures will make any fire call more difficult.
It's much more personnel intensive. It's much more dangerous because everything's icy, you're slipping, falling.
Crews spent the day making sure hydrants were clear from snow and urged people to do the same, and also check on any elderly neighbors.
That way you know that if they get in trouble, maybe they've lost heat, maybe they can't get out to get food or important things like that.
The Laconia Public Library will be open for anyone who needs to get out of the cold. They also have information about shelters and food pantries in the area.
Doesn't sound like fun at all. So I think I'm just gonna be wrapped up in a blanket and just waiting for heck to freeze over.
We have a wood stove over at the house, and I'm just gonna be sitting in front of that all day. It's gonna be too cold to move.
That doesn't bother me. I hike up Mount Washington sometimes when it's 25, 30 below zero.
What do you think about the cold?
I hate it.
So what do you think you're gonna wear tomorrow?
My usual mittens, my hat, and my jacket.
Now, some school districts have already announced delays for tomorrow. The Laconia superintendent says he'll make that decision sometime tomorrow. We're live in Laconia tonight. Siobhan Lopez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Bundle up today, everyone. There are already a lot of school delays for today. 196 closings and delays for today. If you want to see that complete list, just go to WMUR.com. Carbon monoxide poisoning suspected in death of man and woman in Lyman. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Kristen Carosa.
The state fire marshal's office says the older couple was found here at their home on Wilderness Acres Road in Lyman Tuesday morning.
In addition to the man and the woman, we found 3 dogs and 2 cats that had also perished within the home.
Investigators say it appears they were poisoned by carbon monoxide.
We're looking at all sources of carbon monoxide within the home that could have caused this incident.
Right now, the fire marshal cannot say if there were detectors inside, but he's spreading a message about their importance.
It's very easy to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning by having a carbon monoxide detector and making sure the battery is in it and operating.
Carbon monoxide is colorless and odorless and is produced anytime there's a fossil fuel burning.
A wood stove, a pellet stove, an oil burner, LP gas or propane, natural gas, a car motor, anything like that is going to produce carbon monoxide.
The fire marshal says 2 to 4 people die of CO poisoning in New Hampshire every year.
Nationwide, 20,000 people go to the hospital because of carbon monoxide exposure, and approximately 400 people die.
Making having a working detector so important.
If you hear it go off, evacuate the building and call 911 and have the fire department come and inspect.
Now, the fire marshal does tell us an autopsy will be done tomorrow. He says after that, they will release more information, including the victims' names. Live in studio, Kristen Carosa, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Surveillance image released in investigation of Manchester Porch fire. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Andy Hirschberger.
Instead of shoveling snow this season, get your own Kubota BX tractor with your choice of snow removal.
The fire started about 9 o'clock this morning at a 3-story apartment building on Silver Street. Lazaro Sanchez Martinez lives on the first floor with his wife, sister, and 4 children. He says just before the fire, he smelled gasoline.
I see the fire in the porch, because I go to the other side, and I see the fire all the way in the corner.
Sanchez Martinez says they were all able to get out safely. The firefighters needed to rescue a man from the 2nd floor. Christina Leach says that man was her stepfather.
I'm just very happy and thankful that everyone's okay. Very happy. It's very scary.
Police say they are treating this as arson. Fire officials say they are lucky everyone got out okay.
We have received reports via bystanders that an individual may have started the fire, intentionally poured some sort of flammable liquid potentially on the front of the building.
Police have released this surveillance photograph of a woman walking near the address shortly before the fire and are looking to see if anyone recognizes her. Anyone who may have any information about this fire, including that surveillance picture that they have released, is asked to call the Manchester Police. Reporting live in Manchester, I'm Andy Hirschberger, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Cancer survivors call for lawmakers to increase tobacco buying age to 21. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Charisse LeClaire.
Instead of shoveling snow this season, get your own Kubota BX tractor with your choice of snow removal.
The American Lung Association calling New Hampshire's efforts to curb smoking dismal in their State of Tobacco Control report. The Granite State receiving the most failing grades in the Northeast when it comes to efforts to fund tobacco prevention programs, coverage of access to services to quit tobacco, the strength of smoke-free workplace laws, and other criteria.
We're really looking for ways to decrease people from actually starting smoking and becoming addicted to cigarettes.
Cancer survivor and family doctor Carolyn Clausen was among those speaking to lawmakers today at a legislator breakfast. She and others have several goals. One of them raising the state's minimum age to buy tobacco to 21, but also addressing vaping.
And the message out there is that this is a safe product, and it is not safe.
And that's what doctors are seeing too. Dr. Marcy Boucher is a family physician.
What we're seeing is that smoking rates seem to be going down as far as cigarettes, but vaping rates or e-cigarette use seems to be going up.
The CDC's 2018 National Youth Tobacco Survey shows from 2017 to 2018, there was a 78% increase in high school e-cigarette use. While not much is known about the effects of e-cigarettes, Dr. Boucher says definitively that children who use them have an increased risk of respiratory problems.
And Dr. Boucher adds kids as young as middle schoolers are coming into her exam room saying they use e-cigarette products like Juuls. She advises parents to talk to their kids at a very young age about the risks of smoking and vaping. Live in the studio tonight, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire cousin compete on nationally televised baking show. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Gene Mackin.
Instead of shoveling snow this season, get your own Kubota BX tractor with your choice of snow removal.
Oh, wow, look at this place.
It's huge.
Oh, now I'm getting a little nervous.
Renee and her cousin Brian are about to compete in what you could call the Super Bowl of cake competitions.
I can say it's the Super Bowl of cake baking, especially since it's the day before the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was high stress, high stakes for me, so yeah.
We caught up with the cousins in Renee's Londonderry Cake Studio, where she creates masterpieces and records her lessons on her YouTube channel with nearly 140,000 subscribers.
I'm going to show you how to make this Napoleon-inspired lemon cream cake.
Saturday night, the two compete on Discovery Family's Bake It Like Buddy with celebrity chef Buddy Valastro.
Renee and Brian are from New Hampshire. Renee sells custom event cakes.
They take on another cake baking family.
And I think winning would really show that I have what it takes to compete in the professional baking world.
And her way is definitely the best way.
Well, it's definitely better than his way.
Okay, we can't tell you what type of cake they made, but we can tell you the theme of the show is sports cakes. And when you see what we picked for our theme, I think you'll see that we did do a little homage to New Hampshire.
We're tied in New Hampshire, that's for sure. So, yeah, that's all we can say about it.
We'll be watching to see if they take the cake. In Londonderry, Gene Mackin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Very cool indeed. I love cake. My favorite thing. And I'll be sure to watch it. European markets open higher after the Fed pledges to be patient. Berktax. European stocks moved slightly higher on Thursday as investors designated comments from the Federal Reserve's latest meeting. And here's a look at some of the European market. Take a look. And as you can see, these three are in the green. At least 8 dead in dangerous, paralyzing cold blast. Bitterly cold and extremely dangerous below zero wind chills are paralyzing major Midwest cities. Chicago is forecast to reach an actual temperature of minus 26 degrees Wednesday night, just 1 degree away from the city's all-time coldest temperature, which was set in 1994. And soon, freezing temperatures will take over the Northeast. The temperature in Minneapolis plunged to minus 28, the lowest since 1996. The city recorded a wind chill of minus 55. Chicago reached the temperature of minus 23 and the lowest there since 1994. Chicago saw a minus 52 degree wind chill. And we are hearing that at least 8 people have died as the dangerous cold. So be safe. And today in New Hampshire, it's going to be very cold for the next couple of days. So be safe in New Hampshire, everyone. BCH, what I'd do for Super Bowl tickets. Let's take a listen to the video from CBS 46.
Atlanta and Gwinnett, just in time for the holidays. When you buy an adult ticket, get a child's ticket free. That's right, buy an adult ticket to the Universal Circus and get a child's ticket free. Just log on to universalcircus.com. Use the code FREEBIE.
Tonight, you can still buy tickets for Super Bowl 53 as long as you got enough money for it.
You'll need a lot of money. Better Call Harry, though, explains the right way to buy your Super Bowl tickets without getting ripped off.
Poor John Gillen, so desperate for Super Bowl tickets, he went on Craigslist with his very sad tale.
Many years ago, my brother Mikey and I would walk uphill in the snow, both ways, barefoot, in order to try to see the Falcons play football.
John prays that a fellow Craigslister will take pity and sell him 2 tickets for a little over face value.
So this is your brother, Mikey. He looks familiar.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I mean, millennials wouldn't know who this is, but, you know, I would.
The real story is that Gillen is a marketing executive. With all of the requests for tickets, he wanted his to stand out.
I thought, let's have fun with this.
Is any of this story true?
No.
You want to make sure you're getting legitimate tickets? SeatGeek's Chris Lydon says when you're talking $5,000 on average for a seat, sites like Craigslist are a terrible idea.
And so, we see a lot of sob stories and sad stories every year of people who, thought that they got a really good deal. The tickets were half price of what they saw online, and then they get to the door and they don't work.
It used to be the only way for average fans to buy verified tickets was through Ticketmaster and the NFL Exchange. But this year, SeatGeek joins StubHub as a verified seller. That is good news for the secondary market.
If I buy a Super Bowl ticket from SeatGeek, 100% it's going to be real.
Yes.
SeatGeek even has a price tracker to let you know if you're paying too much.
Around $3,000.
3,000.
John can't afford any of these prices, so we're adding a little truth to his sob story. He volunteers for Best Friend's Pet Rescue.
Look at this cat. Did you help this cat?
No, I don't.
No, the answer is yes.
So far, his marketing scheme has only gotten one response. From us.
So it's go to the Super Bowl or get a studio tour,
That's right.
He got a tour. It ain't the Super Bowl, but it's the next best thing.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to CBS 46 News. I'm Better Call Harry.
And I'm John Gillen.
This year, help John fulfill his promise to little brother Mikey.
I said to him, someday I'm taking you to a Super Bowl, my little brother.
And that's our top story. Good night.
It's a little sad that as an average fan, you have to start with the secondary market, but now at least you've got several options. Again, Ticketmaster, StubHub, and SeatGeek. And for those of you desperate enough to buy tickets right before the game, SeatGeek says the trick here is to accompany the person who is selling the ticket to the gate. Make sure it's verified right there, because if you hand over the cash, or if you Venmo, or you Zelle, that money could be gone and you could be stuck with a counterfeit.
And there's no such thing as virtual tickets. Everything's, it's got to be in your hand, correct?
Right. Well, the norm is, if that it's gone mobile now.
Mhm.
But for the Super Bowl, fans want those tickets. They want that
piece of memorabilia.
They want that piece of memorabilia. So, but SeatGeek was telling us it's really hard to duplicate those tickets, and they've never. I think they told us they had like maybe one case where they
Wow.
sold something that, you know.
Got that hologram and everything else. There's several layers of it.
Yeah, and if you're going to go this route to buy a ticket, you know, look for things like spelling errors,
right?
or if it doesn't have the hologram. But the bottom line is you're taking a gamble.
And I
unless you
can't
go to the
believe
game.
that Alfalfa and Spanky weren't the catnip necessary.
See, you knew who they were.
To get the tickets.
I
There's
know.
still hope, though.
There's still hope. Well, you know, he can still go on, and you could go on TV and not TV. I'm on TV. Wait a second, what's happening here? You can still go online to those sites, and we were checking today, and prices are down. So
Okay.
we were looking at nosebleed seats, $2,700, and these are verified seats. So you know that when you pay, that you're going to get an actual ticket.
But the bottom line, Harry, don't get so excited that you skip these measures. Just follow the proper channels.
Yeah, stay off Craigslist. I mean, stay off any of those sites unless it's verified.
All right, Harry.
Okay.
Great work. Fun work. Thanks, sir.
Okay.
Okay, and there you go on your Super Bowl coverage. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.